Hello! This video is part of a series where I read over old issues of my comic Hellgate and give some commentary. Hellgate started in 2003 when I was 15 and ran till 2009. You can read it for free at jaegercomics.com. This footage was captured from my streams over at twitch.tv/Jaeger_comics. This is Hellgate, Battle 41, Journey to the New World, from 2008. Last time on Hellgate Battle 40, he whose power rivals God. Neil in his new form fought the giant demon god, the demon made up of every demon put together. The demon god shrunk down to a smaller form in order to fight Neil. Neil began to tire and the demon god got the upper hand. But in the end, Neil was able to overpower him with a final holy blast, and the demon god was slain. Neil had finally slain every demon. Courtney and Jessica changed back to normal, but Neil fell unconscious and stopped breathing. So we cut right back where we left off. Neil's pretty messed up. You idiot, you can't die now, you just won. I don't understand, none of these wounds are fatal.
The two of you changing back to normal should have been impossible. Neil must have used the last of his strength to make sure you girls became normal again.
He did this for us? Neil!
There is just no energy left in him.
My buddy crying. Almost. Neil! You're alive! Barely.
Astounding.
The Jaeger sword. It's completely gold.
That's because you got every demon in there.
It's finally over.
Congrats, Demon Slayer. You did it.
Shakes his hand. Beam of light from the sky. What's that?
My ride to heaven. But first I need the gem.
I think it fell in the river.
What?
Is a turtle. A turtle?
Thanks. He says his name is Raccoon. He's a friend of Hippo.
Good lord. Swims away.
Goodbye, everyone. I'll be watching.
And then all Neil and his friends are left behind. Meanwhile, in heaven. Demonic, good to see you again.
Oh, yeah.
May I see the gem?
Sure. What are you going to do with it?
I'll be taking it to the realm of the dead to be purified. Welcome back, Demonic.
God!
You will be staying here till you are needed again.
Will you freeze my soul again?
No.
May I ask something?
Go ahead.
What happened to Jaeger after he beat the Demon King 2,000 years ago?
I'll show you. Vision starts to appear in the clouds. 2,000 years ago in Europe. So here we're picking right up after the events of issue 37 when we saw the first Slayer beat the Demon King and slay him.
What happened to Mr. Demonic?
Probably in the sword with the Demon King. Picks up the gem. What's that? The gem that will allow me to rid all the other demons at once. Picks up the sword. Attaches the gem to the sword. We get to Africa. In Egypt. In South America. In Japan. And they all get sucked up right here in Europe. They all get sucked into the sword. And boom, the gem merges with the sword. So it's over? It's over. The following night, Let's hear it for Baden Jaeger, the Demon Slayer! Yeah! Goat. So what are you gonna do now? I hear the Roman Emperor offered you a huge reward once you slain all the demons.
And to think the Romans once worked with the demons against you.
My son Bronson will have to collect the reward. Huh? This is the proof you'll need to collect the reward. I gotta make a trip. He hands over the Demon King's sword.
What?
I gotta go seal the sword back in the Hellgate. Where's the Hellgate? Not sure, but the sword is telling me to go west, so that's what I'll do. When will you be back? Depends on how far it is.
You go too far and you'll hit the ocean.
I leave in the morning. Let me see the sun rising. Father, you could at least wait for Mother to wake. She'd want to see you off. It's better this way. Take this. In case you need to defend yourself, you don't need to be swinging around a gold sword. You'll draw attention. So, off he rides west. The Roman province of Lusitania, modern-day Portugal. Farther west? Don't tell me the gate's at the bottom of the damn ocean. Looks to the sword. I'm gonna need a ship. You want us to take you west? There ain't nothing but ocean that way, you daft. I'll make it worth your while. Oh yeah? How's that? You don't look all that wealthy. You take me west and bring me back, and I'll give you this. So much gold, you got a deal. Good. Make sure to stock the ship well, this could take months. 6 months later. Can we turn around yet? No, we must go further west. There is nothing out here. What is it you're looking for?
Land! I see land!
What? Modern-day Maryland. All right, I still have to go farther west. Restock the ship and wait for me. When I return, we'll head back to Lusitania, and the gold is yours. I don't think so. How do we know you won't die out there? We've been away for 6 months. Me and my men have enough. We're going back now and taking the gold sword with us. With or without you? And he goes to touch it and... Psst, ah! Only a Jaeger can touch my sword. The truth is, the place I'm going to, I'm leaving the sword there. You were never going to get it. What? And I can't have you leaving me here without a boat to get back. So I'm afraid you all have to die. Cuts that guy's head off. Captain! He just slaughters them all. Not a good guy. The original Demon Slayer. Not a good guy. Damn. I don't think I can get the ship back to Europe on my own. I wonder if there are natives in this land I can trick into helping me. Well, off to the Hellgate. More walking. More blood. It's getting worse. How much farther west must I travel? It's been weeks since I left the ship. More time passes. I should have brought the horse. Damn! Passes out. But who's this?
Slow down. Can't catch me.
Who are you? I am Alu. I have to keep going. I have to go north? You are searching for the door to the underworld. It's only an hour's walk north of the village. That is why I brought you here. How do you know so much about me? Let's just say the reason we're here is to help you with this task. When you are feeling better, me and the chief will take you to the door to the underworld. And there it is. Before we seal the gate, we should write a warning to keep anyone from opening it again. I'll write a message on one side, and on the other... Let's see, let's try that again. Restart. I'll write a message on one side, and one of
You should write a message in your language on the other side.
We have no written language.
What?
I know the divine language. Perhaps I could write a message in that form.
Divine language?
The language used by the demons and the heavens. So the warning is inscribed both in demon letters and in German.
It's been 29 years since I first picked up this sword. All right, here goes.
Sword turns back to normal. Stand back. I will bury the gate deep in the ground. Does a dance and the rumbling. Earth opens up and swallows the gate. And demonic warnings appear all over the walls inside the chamber where the gate lies. It is done.
May the damn thing never be opened again.
All of a sudden, boop, boop.
Where did these come from? Otto? Chief? They left me.
But when he gets back to the village...
What happened here?
This village was destroyed by demons.
What?
Almost 30 years ago.
I don't understand.
When the demons first broke out, it was me and the chief who were killed first. Then they destroyed the village. Our souls stayed behind to wait for you, to help you seal the gate. Now that it is sealed, we may pass on. The village and its people were just an illusion. And I can no longer hold back your sickness. I am sorry.
It's fine. I gotta get back home before my wife and kids spend all that reward.
Goodbye. And he leaves him behind. But by the next morning, the demon slayer was dead.
Jaeger. I wonder how things will go for Neil now.
In Eureka, things are about to get very busy. To be concluded. And then we got Christmas drawing. Next time on Hellgate, Battle 42 End, the final issue. All right, commentary time. Okay, so once again, we have another cover where we can tell that someone has learned Photoshop. So once again, I sketched it by hand. I colored it in Microsoft Paint, except for the background. I left that blank, and then I took it into Photoshop, cut everything out into its own layer, and on the background, I made the sky and grass. The sky, I don't remember how that's made. It's a pretty simple thing. You just put in the two colors and it basically creates that for you. The grass is a brush. So it is a dark green solid hill in the back. And then I used the brush, which uses a variety of shades of green to create each blade of grass. And it looks really cool. And I'm really sad that Clip Studio Paint doesn't have that. I'm sure that I could probably find it or something and import it. But by default, it doesn't have that. And that bums me out because it was such a simple technique, and I loved creating grass that way. It was like my favorite thing. We'll see it one more time. But as you can see, the sword is gold because all the demons are in it, and the gem is red because the red gem and the gem on the sword have merged because he used the red gem to suck up all the demons. So kind of like the red gem is like in here, which is why when he seals the gate, the gem ends up in the Hellgate and it comes bouncing out at the beginning of Hellgate. I haven't talked about this yet. Of course, each flame color of Hellgate has its own phrase above Hellgate. For Red Flames, it was die now because I kind of wrote myself into a corner by making the words first and then making the language later and have to figure out what two 3-letter words I could make with no repeating letters. Anyway, I believe Blue Flame is evil within. Green Flame is like love's true form or something like that, or true love. This one, the Black Flame issues, I believe that says Journey's End. But yeah, we got back to basically right where the last issue left off. I like this frame right here. Like, this was very ambitious for me at the time. Her like just like collapsing on him and sobbing. If you look too close to him, he probably needs to be redrawn, but like, yeah, this really works. Also like that sad face there. And this fake out that Neil died, but nope, he survived. And who's that there? Who's that there? Who's our new friend? It's none other than Raccoon the Turtle, friend of Hippo the Penguin. The little known secondary mascot, Raccoon the Turtle. This is his only appearance. We'll never see him again. He lives in the Illinois River. It's got some weird legs for a turtle. I probably should have looked at a turtle before I designed him. But he retrieved the gem out of the river. How nice of him. I like this shot here where like Neil and Demon Egg are like, you did it. You did it, Demon Slayer. You slayed all the demons. Handshake. And then Demonic returns to heaven. I only got this thought like right now, but I was like, do people think this might have been God? We've seen this character before. We don't know much about him other than he seems to have a history with Demonic and that he helped create the gem on top of Mount Yahweh 2,000 years ago. But he's entering the realm of the dead, which means he's got to be dead because you can't go in there unless you're already dead or plan to die. Even if you're immortal, you can't go in there. But here we kind of get some more hints about Demonic's past. We won't get our full explanation until Heaven Gate, but he's like, are you going to freeze my soul again? No. He just gets to hang out in heaven until he's needed again. And then we kind of get, I wanted to show what happened with the original Demon Slayer after he slayed the Demon King. Demonic wasn't there for that, so this was the way I showed that, is by having basically Demonic receiving a vision in heaven of what happened after that. And we've seen this before, where the gem gets attached to the top, to the end of the sword. Although when Neil tried it, it didn't work because the gem was warped at that point. But back then it hadn't warped yet, so it worked. You attach the gem to the sword, and you can slay every demon at once. We can see Peanut Butter Jelly Time. Demon was in South America at the time. Africa, Egypt, Japan. This is important. That is a silhouette of Aku, the demon with the giant sword with the eye on it. It was established that Aku never got to fight the original Demon Slayer because he spent his time in Asia during the first outbreak. So this is how he got slain. He got sucked up when the gem touched the sword. And then the sword turns pure gold. And then I actually remember sitting at my buddy Patrick's house while drawing this page. We were like watching a movie, and I just had it in my lap, and I was like, sketchy. So yeah, we get this party of like these other, I don't know, Anglo-Saxons maybe. This line here, and to think the Romans once worked with the demons against you. I have never, I considered showing more of Bannon, showing more of his time slaying demons. That would have been in the third series, Hellgate Final Outbreak, but that series isn't going to happen now. So this was kind of me. I kind of had a few ideas like that maybe at some point the Romans work with the demons because they didn't like Bannon because he was a barbarian. But then eventually they came around because the demons are a bigger threat and like put out a reward and stuff like that. But we don't really need to flesh out Bannon anymore. But it was just, I had some ideas of what to do more with it. And then basically, since I needed him to have a son, because as we now see at the end of this issue, he doesn't return from this. So if he's going to have a descendant, he needs to already have a son, which is why Bronson exists. So this is also Neil's ancestor. He seems a lot nicer and more chill than Bannon. And once again, that is 100% just me drawing Neil without a ponytail and giving him stubble. Otherwise, it's exactly Neil's face and hairstyle. And all he knows is the sword is drawing him west. The sword says, go west. But he doesn't know how far that is. And eventually he reaches what is modern day Portugal. He's like, well, what's going on? What do you want me to do? Just keep saying go west. Okay, so he's got to talk a ship into taking him out into the ocean, which, of course, wouldn't make sense back then. Why would a Roman ship want to go out into the ocean? What could possibly be out there? I do like this look of the sword like being half unwrapped. And I did look up like Roman ships from that era. I don't know if this is the kind of ship they'd use, but that's what I found. And also like Bannon just has this cough, and my headcanon, it's my story. He has tuberculosis. And so it's getting worse as it goes on. His cough gets worse. He starts coughing up blood. And this I like, when they go to try to steal the sword from him, they get burnt. I've never shown this before, but that's what happens if a non-Jaeger tries to touch the Jaeger sword. You get burned. This is the first time I actually showed that happening. We've talked about it before, but this is the first time we've seen it. And yeah, and then Bannon just fucking murders the whole crew because he's afraid they'll take the boat away, which now we know that wasn't necessary. He didn't make it home anyway. I know I meant for Bannon to not be like, you know, a good guy, to be kind of like ambivalent and just be like doing his own shit. But like, this was probably a step too far where he just slaughters a whole crew of people just because he wants a ride home. That was probably a little bit too much. I probably wouldn't ride him that way anymore. Anyway. Yeah, he's journeying far. And I had an idea for like more to this issue, like him running into native tribes and stuff, and some being friendly, some being some attacking him and stuff like that. But ultimately I ended up just cutting it down to he keeps going until he collapses, and we see Alo again. And of course, as we know, Alo is dead. We saw this way back in I don't remember the number of the issue, but it's the first Slayer. When we saw Bannon first become the Demon Slayer, we saw the Hellgate first open. We saw Alo and the Chief. Basically, they went to the Hellgate because it was rumbling. The demons were trying to get out. They didn't really know that there were demons behind it, but they just had a sense that there was something in there they didn't want out. And so they tried to perform some sort of ritual to keep it closed. That didn't work, and they were the first to die. The Heartagram demon with his large claws immediately killed them. But their souls stayed behind to help the Demon Slayer eventually, when he would return 30 years later, to seal the gate. And we see Bannon here suddenly surprised that he no longer needs to go west, he needs to go north, which means he's been taken a little, he's close. He's gone far enough to maybe kind of overshoot it a bit. And the gate was a blank canvas back then, and on the surface, if you're wondering, like, what's the back of the gate look like? It looks exactly as the front of the gate. But when it opens, it's almost like a portal. This probably isn't historically accurate. I don't believe, I mean, as far as I know, I don't believe the native tribes around Illinois had a written language. So that makes sense. So that's why they used the divine language or the demon language. And then I'm almost positive that 2,000 years ago, German did not exist. I'm pretty sure it had not split from the other. Is German a Romance language? I'm not sure anymore. Isn't it like more of a Nordic? In any case, I don't think German as we know it today had come to pass yet 2,000 years ago. So, but I didn't know that back then, so what am I gonna know? But this is the same phrase that you saw in the Hellgate all the way back in issue 2. Basically a warning: do not open this. Unfortunately, when Neil showed up in 2003, he didn't know demon and he didn't know German, so he opened the gate. And we see this. He says, "Well, it's been 29 years." So we see this brief flash of what he looked like 29 years ago. You know, shorter. Also, that's the other thing. Bannon's beard has been growing throughout this entire issue, because every time I cut forward, I grow his beard a bit more, because you know, he doesn't have access to like he's not taking good care of himself on this trip. So his beard's growing out more. Then he seals the gate, and the sword changes back to normal. And the Chief does his dance, and I like this look of the gate kind of getting swallowed up by the earth. I think that works. You kind of see like this one tree kind of got like swallowed upside down. This doesn't work. It's supposed to be like, because if you remember in the Hellgate chamber, there were all these markings on the cave walls. And I don't think I do a good job of showing that's what is happening here, because we don't even see that it's inside a cave. We just see these numbers flash, or these letters flash. And then, of course, now that their job is done, they fade out, and then Bannon notices the remains of the Chief and Alo. The Chief was stabbed in the neck, so his skeleton doesn't really show that, but Alo had his head cut off, so you see the skull is removed from the rest of the body. But Bannon doesn't know that yet until he sees the village is destroyed, and Alo basically explains, like, yeah, we've been dead for 30 years. And then his sickness returns, and he doesn't make it through the night. And the original Demon Slayer died of tuberculosis alone in the wilderness of North America. Then we Cut to Neil wearing a sweater. It's Christmas time. It says happy 21st birthday, Neil, in the background. And then here's an extra Merry Christmas drawing. I like this. This is cute. We got Courtney and Neil under some mistletoe that she is holding up over them. We got Jessica putting Demonic on top of the tree as an angel. And then we have Hippo as Santa riding Jessie dressed up like a reindeer. It's adorable. I'm sorry that it's sideways. When these were print issues, you could have just done this. My bad. My B. And next time will be the final issue. That was Hellgate Battle 41, Journey to the New World. Thank you for that, Redeem. Thank you so much for watching. If you liked this video, make sure you hit the like button, and I'd love to read your comments below. And make sure you're subscribed so you know when the next comic goes up. Also, check the description for a playlist of any readings you may have already missed. And if you'd like to read ahead, all of these comics are free on my website, YagerComics.com. Bye!